I am live. Thank you, StreamYard. What a great piece of tech as I try to fix this little. Go away. Oh, damn. Oops. Okay. Whoop. Okay. I don't know what happened, but okay. I think we're sorted. Good. Right. There we go. What a mess that was. Okay. Good morning. At least in this beautiful part of the world here on the Gold Coast. And correct, I don't have a beach behind me. It was stunning on the beach this morning. I caught up with my mother for a breakfast, and here I am walking in traffic. So, quick one, sleep. I just wanted to come back and talk a little bit about sleep. I want to overemphasize how important it is. Why? Because of all the podcasts and things I read, and you've heard me talk about the health tripod, where eating, moving, and sleeping being the most important. I continually hear about sleep being so important. So important, in fact, that I'm talking to you at an intersection about sleep. Now, here's what I learned on the latest from, I think his name's Matt somebody. Anyway, this guy is an expert. There is, of course, Dr. Michael Breus, PhD on sleep, who's been on Oz 39 times, and I had the fortunate privilege of interviewing him. But, I like to get my sources of information from a lot of different independent sources. And this other guy really impressed me on a podcast that I was listening to. Here's the extras that I got from him. So when you are you might have heard me say, I'll just do a quick revision, right? You need to get about 25 to 30% of deep sleep, okay? And that happens usually in the first half of the night. The second half of the night, and most probably about the last third-ish, is when you'll get your REM sleep. Your REM sleep needs to be about 20 to 25%, okay? Here's the thing. This is the extra. So when you are in the light non-REM sleep, now Mr. Bulletproof, Dave Asprey, will call that junk sleep. It's not junk sleep. We learn that it is actually where the memories get consolidated, learnings. Now, we thought that was REM sleep that did that. It's the non-REM light sleep that does that, right? The stuff in between your REM and your deep, the stuff in between, that is where learnings, memory consolidation happens. Now, REM sleep is the most important. So when the deep sleep, you're detoxing, there's a lot of cleaning up. The factory's been shut down, toxins are leaving the brain, right? And certain things happening in the body, certain hormonal, very important activities are happening in your deep sleep. We spoke about non-REM light sleep. So then what's happening in REM sleep? What's happening? It is where you process emotional and mental stuff. And this is why it's so damn important, because if you don't process that stuff, it stays in the body and it starts to create issues that move in becoming emotions. They'll live somewhere, and unless they are processed, they're going to stay there, and they physiologically can start to affect you. We start to talk about anything at the extremes, or like heart disease and things like that. So you've really got to make sure you're getting your REM sleep in, the 20 to 25% of your sleep. Now, the total amount of sleep, he tended to talk about 7 to 8 hours thereabouts. I know there are studies that say 6.5 hours. Usually that's for fit people. But otherwise, it's going to be around 7.5. And when you do it, super important. I'm going to stress that again. When you sleep is super important. I won't stress it again, at least not this time. So for me, I know, because it's quite easy to find out actually, epigenetically for me, chronologically for me, the best time in my circadian rhythm is around 9:15 to 10 o'clock. In fact, even my Oura ring tells me that, right? So that coincides and correlates. 9:15 to 10 p.m. is about the best time for me to go to sleep, but you've got to be consistent and then wake up consistently at the same time. Why? Because the body learns that it's going to pack its REM sleep at the latter part of your sleep, thinking that you are going to be waking up at a certain time. Now, if you go and wake up early and you cheat it and you go inconsistent, then you're going to be missing out on your REM sleep. So if you are waking up an hour earlier, it could be that you miss out on 10% of your REM, right? Because most of it's happening on the back end. So you've got to be consistent with when you get to sleep and then when you're waking up, right? And that starts with going to sleep at that within the band. For me, 9:15 to 10 p.m. Now, larger set people, more endomorph, mesomorph, some an ecto, more I'm an ecto, come meso to endo, heavier set. They'll tend to be night owls generally, and they'll wake up later and they're slower to get going. Us ectos mesos, we tend to wake up and bang, the cortisol wakes us up and boom, we're at it, right? Transactional stuff in the morning, get out there, do your cardio, all that sort of thing. But the part that really stuck out was how you are not going to be able to process as much emotional and mental distress, which happens in your dreams, in the dream state, in the REM, unless you're having enough REM and you're clearing out. So if we look at the deep sleep being detoxing from a biochemical sense and cleaning out toxins from the brain and the body and the right hormonal activities happening, then we can look at REM sleep being when you detox your mind as far as thoughts, processing those things, right? Getting rid of the crap, right? During your REM sleep. That's why it's so important. And that's why if you don't clear that, that will, over time, start to drag you down, right? Physiologically. Because there's a lot of studies that have been done correlating sleep and chronic disease. But it seems to be that REM is the one that is so damn important to get. Now, if you want to measure it accurately, there's nothing better. And I know everybody's got their Apple Watch, so have I. And all sorts of bloody watches that are measuring this stuff. I got to say, the most accurate device still for measuring recovery in general, and specifically in sleep, not just HRV overnight, but for sleep, is the Oura Ring, right? I've got one on here. There it is, right? Super important to get some, devices that have been proven, tested, and as a bioharmonizer, I'd like to think of myself rather than a biohacker. I'm not into hacking for hacking's sake. It's to and not to cheat the system. It's to really learn about your body and how it works from a proactive sense, so that you're not having to go to the doctor. Because if you're going to the doctor for symptoms, damage is already being done, right? Or you don't get a symptom, and sometimes the damage can be fatal, right? And you don't need to be Einstein to work out what the top 2 or 3 killers in the world, and COVID comes nowhere near it. So, at 73% versus, less than 1%. 1%, what is it? Anyway, big difference. So, there it is, guys. Okay, I just wanted to stress it because that third leg should be really the first and most important leg of eating, moving, and sleeping. And where your bum goes, and some of us sometimes have to pull our head out of our bum. That's the flat part of the stool. That's the head, the thoughts. That's the other piece. That's the number 4, even though that's not one of the legs. It connects them all. And that mindset stuff is where it's the junction box, the switch box, where it all connects into. We're not going to be talking about that on this particular episode because we are basically out of time. And I got things to do. We've got a lot of things going on right now. We're testing my program at Bond University next week with a biomedical team. I've actually had a number of interns come on board as well. It's great fun to teach the kids what it's like in entrepreneurial land, and a number of other exciting things happening. And hopefully some of you join that bioenergetic webinar that we had on Tuesday night. That was pretty damn cool. And what's happening with frequency medicine is going off. I'm testing a device right now. In fact, talking about REM sleep again. Now it's 2 nights that I've used this device, frequency. It's just resonating out frequency, right? It's crazy. And I nailed my REM 2 nights in a row, and I've struggled with getting my REM right. I've even speaking to my mother, and hers, like, not even as good as mine was, and mine had upside. I'm now, what is it? The first night was 27% REM. The second night, last night, 25% REM sleep through this device around frequency medicine that can, I think there's like 120, I think 120 programs of what I can do, and more to come. Anyway, if you want to connect up, heal.me, the group, is where all the content tends to go from all different channels, and go and sign up there, or hit me up on a private message, Facebook or LinkedIn, Tommy Gallant, or you can go to biotechexec.net, and you can also do the executive lifestyle assessment there, and that'll get you a free 20 to 30 minute optimized health strategy session for peak performance states, sustainable peak performance states, and getting into what I call homeostatic flow. So that's it, guys. I'm out of here. It's a beautiful sunny day. Going to go and create some more stuff for creating more education and supporting people optimizing as the superhuman futurists. We'll see you on the next one. Bye. All right. Eventually, have a good morning, good evening, good night, good dinner, good everything. See you on the next one. Bye.